Never need a bitch, I'm what a bitch need. Tryna find the one that can fix me. I've been dodging death in the 6-speed. Amphetamine got my stomach feeling sickly. I want it all now. I've been running through the pussy, need a dog pound. 100 models getting faded in a compound. Tryna love me, but they never get a pulse down. Cause I'm heartless, and I'm back to my ways cause I'm heartless. All this money and this pain got me heartless. More life, cause I'm heartless. Said I'm heartless, tryna be a better man, but I'm heartless. Never be a wedding plan, but I'm heartless. More life, cause I'm heartless. Said I'm heartless, so much pussy be falling out the pocket. Metro Boomin turn this hoe into a mosh pit. Tesla bill got me flying like a cockpit. Yeah, I gotta watch it. Call me up, turn that pussy to a faucet. Duffel bags full of drugs and a rocket. Sticks drunk, but he never miss a target. Photo shoots, I'm a star now. I'm talking time, rolling zone and bazaar now. Selling dreams to these girls with their guard down. 7 years I've been swimming with the sharks now. Cause I'm heartless, and I'm back to my ways cause I'm heartless. All this money and this pain got me heartless. More life, cause I'm heartless. Said I'm heartless, tryna be a better man, but I'm heartless. Never be a wedding plan, but I'm heartless. More life, cause I'm heartless. I lost my heart and my mind. I tried to always do right. I thought I lost you this time. You just came back in my life. You never gave up on me. I never know what you see. I don't do well when I'm alone. Cause I'm heartless, and I'm back to my ways cause I'm heartless. All this money and this pain got me heartless. More life cause I'm heartless. Said I'm heartless, tryna be a better man, but I'm heartless. Never feel what I can, but I'm heartless. More life cause I'm heartless. I've been trying to call. I've been on my own for long enough. Maybe you can show me how to love. Maybe I'm going through a drought. You don't even have to do too much. You can turn me on with just a touch. Baby, I look around since city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're gone. I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I said, ooh, I'm drowning in the night. Oh, when I'm like this, you're the one I just. Hey, hey, I'm running out of time, cause I can see the sun light up the sky. So I hit the road and overdrive, baby. Oh, the city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're gone. I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I said, thoughts. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I'm tryna put you in the worst mood. P1 cleaner than your church shoes. Really point to just to hurt you. All red lamb just to tease you. None of these toys on lease to. Made your whole year in a week too. Yeah, main bitch out of your league too. Side bitch out of your league too. House so empty, need a centerpiece. 20 racks of table come from ebony. Cut that ivory into skinny pieces. Then she clean up with her face, but I love my baby. You talking money, need a hearing aid. You talking about me, I don't see a shade. Switch on my side like the Kenny Lane. Switch on my core if I kill any pain. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking star boy. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking star boy. Every day a nigga try to test me, yeah. Every day a nigga try to end me, yeah. Pull up in the roadster SV, yeah. Pockets overweight, getting hefty, yeah. Coming for the king, that's a far cry. I come alive in the fall time, The competition, I don't really listen. I'm in the blue moon song, but when new edition. House so empty, need a centerpiece. 20 racks of table come from ebony. Cut that ivory into skinny pieces. Then she clean up with her face, but I love my baby. You talking money, need a hearing aid. You talking about me, I don't see a shade. Switch on my side, I take any lane. Switch on my core if I kill any pain. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking star boy. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking star boy. Let a nigga Brad Pitt, legend of the fall, took the year like a bandit. Bought mama a crib and a brand new wagon. Now she hit the grocery shop looking lavish. Star Trek roof in the Wraith the Con. Girls get loose when they hear the song. 100 on the dash, get me close to God. We don't pray for love, we just pray for cause. House so empty, need a centerpiece. 20 racks of table come from ebony. Cut that ivory into skinny pieces. Then she clean up with her face, but I love my baby. You talking money, need a hearing aid. You talking about me, I don't see a shade. Switch on my side, I take any lane. Switch on my core if I kill any pain.
Florida's losing 28-0 in the spring game. That's sad.
I'm a motherfucking star boy. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking star boy. Look what you done.
Jack Miller, the transfer from Ohio State, he's the quarterback for the Orange team, what has 0 points. So I guess Anthony Richardson is the quarterback of the blue team. I just got home from my kid's soccer practice, so I haven't watched any of it. Blue team winning 28-0. I'm guessing Anthony Richardson is quarterback in the blue team. Jack Miller's quarterback in the orange team. They have 0 points. 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Uncle Lou After Dark, the college football call-in show. We're going to do this like we did it on Tuesday. It went pretty good, so we'll try it a few more times and see how everybody likes it. If we need to go back to the call-in thing, we can do that. But the off-season is the best time to try new things. So that's what we're doing, trying new things. So some people don't like to call in for whatever reason. They'd rather do the StreamYard. So I don't know. Maybe we'll switch back and forth over the next couple of months and get it figured out for the season. But anyway, I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Hit the thumbs up if you hadn't already. If you'd like to join the show, just hit the StreamYard link. It's pinned in the comment at the top of the page. Or the link is also in the description of the video. Just go click that link and join the show. How's everybody doing? Mike Taylor, what's up, buddy? A Rat, Nikki G, Lizard Circus, Sir UGA, what's up, bud? Gavin, congratulations, by the way, Gavin. Pal Car 1, Rack Dog, JC, Kev, Zona Tucson, Neo, what's up, buddy? Appreciate all y'all tuning in. Yeah, Florida spring game is on tonight. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I just got home from my kid's soccer practice, so I didn't get a chance to watch any of it until just now. So I don't have anything to say about it yet. I'll have to maybe watch a replay or read some articles or something on it tonight or in the morning, and maybe have something to say about it tomorrow. But I can't really say anything about it tonight if I haven't watched it. But if you have watched the Florida spring game, especially if you're a Florida fan, click the link, come on in, let me know what you think about what you saw. Who looked good, who looked bad, what concerns do you have going forward, that kind of thing. JC says AR-15 not looking bad, but Jack Miller is okay. Still 28-0, 9.5 minutes. 9.5 minutes to go. Super chat right below the comment section. If you want to support the show, that's a great way to do it. Click the super chat icon. You can attach a note, comment, question, troll, attempt, whatever it is you want to do, and I'll be happy to read it. There's also a PayPal and a Cash App for those of you that have that and don't mind using it. YouTube steals half your super chat, PayPal, and Cash App. Do not. So if you enjoy the show, consider supporting it with the Cash App, PayPal, or super chat. All right. Let's see if anybody wants to come on and talk some football today. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. You got to unmute your microphone. You got to unmute your microphone. That's a shame that you waited that long to do that, and then no one could understand a word you said. I can't even really give you an E for effort on that one. It was just a complete and total fail. Does anybody know what it was he tried to say there? I couldn't understand him. I couldn't understand him at all. Off to a great start, though. Off to a great start. Bunch of SEC spring games coming up on Saturday. Of course, none of them are televised except for the Georgia game, which will be on ESPN2 at 1 o'clock. And I will be streaming again this Saturday. So this will be, the third Saturday in a row I've been able to stream some college football games, these spring games. I believe the Ohio State game comes on at noon. Is that right? If it's on TV, I may start the stream at noon, and I'll stream an hour. We'll do an hour watching the Ohio State game, and then of course switch over to Georgia. I mean, I can have both games on. I got plenty of TVs in here, but so we'll see. Gmail Sig says, "Screw you, Uncle Lou. I'm not interested, buddy. I really don't have it in me after that work your mom put on me this afternoon. I don't really have any. I don't have any energy left for that." We went about 3 rounds around 4 o'clock this afternoon, right around the time you were getting home from school. I don't think G-Day sold. It wasn't sold out yesterday. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, look. Wisconsin. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you, sir?
Yeah, long time no see.
Yeah, it must be the off season if you're checking back in.
Yeah, I know. Just school's almost done, so I'm taking my opportunity to lower my cholesterol.
I understand. It's a good idea.
Yeah, if y'all are watching Uncle Lou every day like you're supposed to.
That's right.
So, is this weekend your spring game?
Yeah, Saturday, 1 o'clock on ESPN2.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to tune in. Well, I'll watch.
Yeah. We'll have a good time. I've been streaming spring games the last couple of Saturdays. We have a good time on those.
Excellent. Our spring game is next Friday.
Is it going to be on Big Ten Network?
You know it.
Y'all going to be any good this time?
There's hope.
Yeah. He's a Rutgers fan, for those of y'all that don't know.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, there actually is a Rutgers fan.
Well, now that Shiano's back, I'd say there's tons of us more coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah. Where are they all?
Well, all I can say is they're not watching. They're not here, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's no good. Does Mark Rogers have a Rutgers channel?
Nope.
Wow.
Though.
Blasphemy.
Well, don't worry. Those who have sinned meet their punishment soon.
Oh, yeah?
When Rutgers sneaks up on them. Probably might not be this year, but maybe the year after.
Yeah. Rutgers.
Unfortunately, my time in the band has come to an end, so I won't be able to get in for free to witness it, you know?
Yeah. What is it? You're graduating?
Yep.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations in that.
Thanks.
Awesome, too.
Hey, yeah, so I'm going to go let the next person hop on. It was nice talking to you.
Yeah, you too, buddy. Good to hear from you again. Comic dude. Been a while. Since we heard from him. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, how's it going, Lou?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Not much. Thank you for the good wishes, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Congratulations.
I've been sitting here trying to think of a question to ask you. I've kind of had my head down in this ASVAB for Dummies book, so haven't really been keeping up with football.
What are you doing, military?
Week. Not yet. No, I'm working on it. I just took I just took the PICAT. I'm getting ready to go in.
Okay. What, Army?
Marines,
my man.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let me see. Do you believe in parallel universes? And if so, do you believe that there is a parallel universe where Vandy is a good team?
I believe in the possibility of other universes. I don't know if I believe in parallel universes.
Fair enough. What time is the spring game for UGA tomorrow?
1 o'clock on Saturday.
All right.
Yeah. Not tomorrow, but Saturday, 1 o'clock. And I'll probably start to stream around 12. I think Ohio State, somebody let me know in the comments, but I think Ohio State plays at 12 on Saturday. And someone told me it was coming on the Big Ten Network, so I might start to stream around 12.
Okay. I'll definitely tune in. Which side do you think's going to win? Do you think Bennett's going to get outplayed?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it really just depends. I'm not sure how they're going to split up the wide receivers. You know, I don't know who Bennett's going to be throwing to as opposed to Carson Beck and Brock Vandagriff and I guess Gunnar Stockton. I don't know.
True. Do you think we'll get to see what's his name? I can't remember his last name. He might be like second string, third string now, but he's a backup running back. I think his name is Edward something.
Dejon Edwards. Yeah, you'll see.
Dejon Edwards. You think he's going to be good this year? Maybe be a little secret weapon for us?
I mean, at best, he's going to be the third running back.
Yeah, probably. I think Kendall Milton will most likely. I mean, we don't really have starters. We haven't really had a starting running back for like a few years now.
Yeah, Kendall Milton and Kenny McIntosh will be the 1 and 2, and then Dejon will be the 3. Branson Robinson will be the 4.
That's probably my biggest wish. Honestly, I wish we just recruited our running backs like Alabama does, because Georgia is running back university. I don't see why we can't get a 6'3", 6'2", 240-pound running back like Najee Harris.
Well, I mean,
Richard Young.
We don't have any issue recruiting running backs.
No. We just got a dude from Texas. Pretty sure.
Which from Mississippi, Branson Robinson.
Yeah, that's right. My bad.
Yeah, he didn't early enroll, so you won't see him this weekend. But
okay,
he'll play this year too. He's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of new faces on defense and offense. All right, well, I'll see you tomorrow, Lou. Definitely
All right, buddy.
tune into the live.
All right. Thanks for stopping by. It was good to hear from you. Also in two. Addition to that as well. All right. If you want to come on the show, click the pinned comment at the top of the page, the StreamYard link, or I guess I could repost it again in the comments. There you go. If you have watched the Florida game, I'd love for somebody to come on who watched the Florida game. My kid had soccer practice tonight. I just got home right before I started the show, so I haven't been able to watch much of the I haven't got to watch much of the spring game. So if someone has watched it, click the StreamYard link, come on the show, and let me know what you think about what you saw. Are y'all talking about the FBI ranking that came out today? It was absolutely ridiculous. FBI, by the end of the season, the FBI ranking is pretty good, but the FBI ranking in the preseason and early in the season is ridiculous. I remember a couple of years ago, well, 4 or 5 years ago, I guess it was it Oklahoma beat Ohio State in like week 1 or 2. The very next day, the team that lost, Ohio State got beat by Oklahoma. The very next day, Ohio State was ranked ahead of Oklahoma in the FBI. It's just too many things like that with the FBI early in the season that don't make any sense. I don't really pay much attention to the FBI ranking. I mean, Auburn in the top 10, that's absolutely insane. That's absolutely insane. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense at all. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, so I was wondering, you said you believe in alternate universe, or you believe in more universes but not alternate ones, and it's off season, so there ain't much football going on. So what's up with that?
Well, I said I don't know if I believe in parallel universes. I believe in the possibility of other universes. I mean, space is infinite. Who knows what's out there?
Yeah, I'm more on the side of it's infinite and it's just there's everything. So alternate, parallel, all that stuff. Yeah, it's out there.
Yeah, and it's getting bigger every day. It's still expanding.
And then one more thing, the guy that was talking about the ASVAB, joining the Marines and studying for the ASVAB, that's a paradox right there, man.
What, studying and being a Marine?
Yeah.
Man, come on.
Amen.
What branch of the military did you serve in?
Currently in the Air Force.
Oh, okay. As long as you're in the military, then you're allowed to make jokes about the other branches.
Oh yeah.
And I've heard the jokes too that all the smart people join the Air Force. So I think that's what you're saying.
It's relatively it's true until it's not.
What about the fact that what is it? The Navy is just a taxi cab for Marines. What about that? Is that true?
Yeah, that's what Marines would say. I've like never interacted with the Navy. I mean, I'm in Arizona, just flying planes, or not flying planes, but fixing planes when they break.
Yeah. What kind of planes do you work on?
C1 or specifically EC-130s actually.
Okay.
They're closing down my unit in about 4 or 5-ish years.
Those are transport planes or cargo planes?
C-130s can be, but you have specification codes. So mine are actually like, I'm trying to think of how to describe it real quick. Flying EMPs is how we like to describe them, or something like that. So
you go in and take out the electrical grid and shit like that.
Exactly.
Electromagnetic pulse. That's what you're saying.
It's it's pretty cool when you learn about it here.
Modern warfare. Yeah.
Very,
a flying microwave. That's what you're a giant flying microwave. That's what
exactly like that. It's pretty cool. So I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. Too bad y'all couldn't use that to defeat the Taliban, huh?
Tried apparently. I wasn't there.
They sure enough whipped y'all's ass, didn't they?
On the back half.
Yeah.
That's where we got we got 3 or 4 confirmed kills in my unit. So
that's good. Were they bad guys? Were they bad guys or collateral damage?
No, that's bad guys. Those are what happened was like they would set IEDs down and they would use their phones or whatever. But we had a frequency we can send out. We have 2 different frequencies, and one's a very low, and it's just across the board frequency, and no one really uses that because it can be it's shut down so easily and tapped into so easily. But they were doing it. I don't know if it was budgeting purposes, if it was under the radar or whatever it was, but they were trying that for a while, and it essentially would just spot them and shoot a message to that mine or that phone or whatever, and it would blow up in their hands.
Damn.
So that was cool. Again, but when I got here, they've kind of slowed deployments down at the moment, and I just got here, so see how it goes.
You ain't headed to Eastern Europe, are you?
We just had Earth, like an instant deployment to Spain, get canceled actually, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah. I hope we don't get caught up in that mess.
You and me both. I honestly, we probably won't.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
They just don't want to have that full scale war going on and everything.
Yeah. Typically, we don't like to go to war with countries that can actually defend themselves.
Very true. Very, very true.
Yeah, we like to go to Iraq, Afghanistan, keep 500,000 troops in South Korea, Germany.
Yeah. South Korea bases are, I don't want to say a joke because that's mean, but it's one of them. The first one, like we have 2, and the first one's purpose is basically just like to warn the second one, hey, we're getting invaded. We're about to go out, so we'll just catch y'all later.
Yeah.
So it's just not crazy about it, but paychecks are paychecks. Healthcare is healthcare.
Well, look, you're more of a man than I was. I didn't have the guts to join the military, so I'm glad we have people like you that'll do it, so I don't have to. You know what I mean? If I can be serious for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you. For me, I think everyone has their own path. Everyone's doing something. So
How long have you been in?
legit just got in. So I've been in 6-7 months. Basically, no time. Yeah, no time at all.
And how many years did you sign up for?
4. You can sign the 4 or 6. And I was like, if I want out of this, I do not want that extra 2 over my head. So give me that 4.
I read yesterday that right now for 6-year enlistments, they're paying a $50K bonus.
That's
probably for certain MOSs, but
certain
not everybody. But
yeah, I would bet that's either certain things like maybe you have college degree and you do a 6-year, maybe, and I think that's also just theoretical. Right now, the 6-year bonus thing is it gives you higher grade right out the gate, and you could take advantage of that if you want to, but it's nothing crazy. It's just not worth it to me.
Yeah. Now I know you haven't been in very long, 6 or 7 months, but if you had to decide right now, do you think you would re-enlist when your enlistment is up?
100%. More for the so for me, a big thing that I want is the A&P license, and that enables you to work on aircraft outside the Air Force. Right now, we have the DoD has an agreement with, I don't know if it's OSHA or whoever it is, but basically it's just an agreement that says, hey, we're going to let people who aren't qualified to work on planes work on very, very specific parts of the plane, and then you can do whatever. So to actually be able to go out and do stuff and get qualified, you need the A&P. To get that A&P, you need to be in 4 years for them to actually pay for your classes and do all that stuff.
Right.
So a lot of your benefits, in my opinion, like a lot of the turnaround you're going to see from enlisting is going to be at that 8-year mark. And 6 years, 7 years.
Well, good for you, man. I'm happy for you.
I appreciate it. And just love the show. So I decided to finally call in more quick or stream in or whatever this is. So
I appreciate it, man. Stay safe and keep in touch.
All right. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Take it easy. Yeah, I didn't have what it took. So luckily we have people like him that do. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. You got to turn your mic on. All right, we'll put you back in the queue until you figure out your microphone situation. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Morning, Uncle Lou. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, sir.
Good deal. Hey, what do you think about this new professional spring football league? I forget the name of it, but do you think it's going to flop like the XFL did, or do you think it's actually going to catch on and fill a void for the sports fan?
I'm going to be honest. I hope it catches on. I am not. I went all in on the XFL and the what was the other one? The AAF or whatever it was called before that. I mean, I picked a team. I bought merchandise. I had hats for and then none of them even lasted a year. And
Yeah.
I'm getting tired of getting suckered in like that. So I'm not jumping on any of these alternate professional football leagues until they get into year 2.
Yep. That's what I was wondering what your opinion on it was.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I won't watch a game. If I'm sitting around one weekend and there's not a whole lot going on and I'm flipping through the channels and I happen to see a game on, I'll probably watch some of it. But as far as following it, like enough to be able to talk about it on my YouTube channel, I'm not going to do that until year 2.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty fair, because that was my apprehension with it. Was I was afraid, that it would be another flop. People would get hyped up for it, and then it'd die out and just be ancient history.
I think there is room for, like, if you want to call it like a minor league professional football league. Like I do think there's a space for that, but it's got to be done right. It's got to be put together right. It's got to have the right people running it. Now that arena or whatever it was, what was that? I forget the name of that one that was 3 years ago before the XFL, the AFA or whatever it was. Anyway,
AAFL or something like that.
They had 2 weeks of practice before the season started.
Yeah.
I mean, the football was terrible to watch. I mean, the guys didn't know what the hell they were doing. They didn't know the plays. I mean, it was bad football. It wasn't bad football because the players themselves weren't talented enough to play. It was bad football because they forced them out there on 2 weeks practice. And I mean, if you put the NFL out on 2 weeks practice, they're not going to be very good either. So it's got to be put together the right way.
Would if it actually took off, would you see that league being a stepping stone for the NFL, or would you actually see it possibly competing for viewership with the NFL?
I don't know. I don't think it'll ever compete with the NFL for viewership, but I do think it'll be. A lot of players like undrafted free agents that get cut and they end up in the Canadian League or something like that. So a lot of those players would flock to that league, maybe. And I do think if a league were to become successful and last more than a year, if a league stuck around for 2, 3, 4 years, I do think you would see scenarios where the NFL would be basically cherry picking players out of that league, to fill in spots that they need. So, I mean, I'm all in favor of it, but it's got to be done the right way and it's got to last more than a year.
Kind of run it how the MLB does with, spring training and minor leagues and kind of cherry picking, using that as a feeder system like that.
Right.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Well, hey, good deal, brother. I appreciate the insight. Love the show. I'm going to hang up and keep on listening. Go Big Orange.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you taking the time to come on. Slim Shady Canes. What's up, buddy?
Man, I wish I'd have thought about it. I'd have got you to ask that Air Force guy if he could get me off the no-fly list.
It's hilarious that you say that, Slim. While he was talking about something and I saw you enter the queue, that same thought popped in my mind. I should ask this guy if there's anything he can do for my boy Slim. For y'all that don't know what we're talking about, Slim Shady Canes has been around forever, but this morning on the morning show, we found out that he's actually on the government do not fly list, and he doesn't know why.
I've tried to fly once ever, and that's how I found out.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Oh,
I'm a terrorist, and I didn't know it.
I guess.
Well, I mean, a lot of weird people. Ted Kennedy ended up on the no-fly list for some reason.
Oh,
although,
wow.
I mean, that could have been a weight distribution thing, maybe. I don't know.
Speaking of Ted Kennedy, I have to ask.
Oh, Lord.
Do you really believe JFK Jr. is alive and that he is going to be Trump's vice presidential nominee in 2024?
No, because I haven't seen anybody else the Clintons have killed that have turned back up, so I don't think he's going to either.
Okay. That's the latest Q thing that's going around.
Although then again, I don't think Trump's running in 2024 either, so.
Yeah. Did you watch any of the Florida game?
Um,
I'll take that as a
no.
no.
I have too high opinion of myself to do that.
I don't think anyone watched it. Like, I can't find anybody in the comment section that's talking about how they looked. I can't get anybody to come on the show to tell me how they looked. I'm guessing no one watched it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you've got a year to get rid of Todd Grantham's defense, so there's nothing to see there. And I mean, they may have thrown Emory Jones out there just because he's still around and they don't have any better options.
Oh, Emory Jones is
What are you
gone.
really expecting? I thought he was still there. I thought he couldn't find anywhere to go.
No, he ended up going somewhere.
Oh. Now, see, I had some jokes ready to go because even Arkansas wanted Pepe Le Pew.
That's true. Pepe Le Pew is in the NFL, though, isn't he? He's like I think he was Matt Ryan's backup last year.
Backup or practice squad, something like that.
Yeah, Felipe Franks.
Dreams can come true, kids.
That's right. When is Miami's spring game? Is that this weekend?
Yeah. I don't remember what time. I'd have to look it up.
Is it on the ACC network? Do you know?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll have to watch some of that too then.
Yeah, I figured it would come up during your live stream. No, the reason I came on tonight, I wanted to get your opinion, if you had one, about Webb and Mims, and specifically Mims, because he's got Miami in his top 3.
Mims is an NFL player.
Okay.
Mims is an NFL left tackle. There's not very many teams in America that Mims would not have been starting on this year. It just Georgia happens to be one of only a handful of teams that's got several NFL left tackles. Or he could play right tackle. I'm not saying he has to play left tackle, but what I'm saying is I think he's really, really good. Webb, I'm not as sold on. But I think Mims can start this year for a lot of teams. Webb is a center. I guess he could play guard, but he's a center guard. Mims is a tackle, and I think a really, really good one. It's just a lot of these people just don't want to wait anymore. I mean, I would have loved to have kept him. He could have possibly won the job, but before the start of the season, he's not, he's not the number one right now, but it's close. So I was kind of surprised, and I didn't want to lose. I don't like to lose anybody, but like he probably for sure would have started next year. But so I think he's really, really good.
Well, that's good because we definitely need the help at offensive line. I mean, they've got some guys, but they don't have any depth. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they both ended up there. I mean, somebody at Florida State got everybody riled up just because he was on campus, and Florida State was trying to put something out on Twitter saying they got him. It's like, no, he just came by for a visit. I think he's smarter than that. He won't stick around that all-girls clown college.
Yeah.
Now, where I want to know what if there's something different you're hearing from what I'm hearing. What's changing your opinion on this Miami Texas A&M game as per your schedule preview?
Well, I still think Texas A&M is going to win the game, but if this game was in Miami, I would pick Miami to win. But it's not nothing really has changed for me about Texas A&M. It's just the more, I don't know if I'm getting suckered in because I've done this before with Miami. So maybe that, I don't know, but I feel like Miami could really have a good year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to keep them at arm's length because I've been suckered in myself. But I don't know, just something about it seems different. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it. I can't explain it. Just something about it seems different.
Well, I'm a big believer in Mario Cristobal, and regardless of what Miami does this year, the overall talent level at Miami is fixing to be raised significantly through recruiting.
Right.
I don't have a single doubt about that at all. Mario Cristobal is going to be the best recruiter Miami has had. God, I mean, I
probably since he was there last time.
Well, yeah, and it's not just him. This is something that Saban and Smart emphasize too when they go out and hire assistants and position coaches. It's not just can you coach defensive linemen. That's great. If you're a defensive line coach, obviously you have to be able to coach defensive linemen. You also have to be willing to travel 200 days a year.
Yeah.
To coach at Georgia or Alabama. And that's the type of people that Cristobal's got on that staff. He's got some serious recruiters on that staff. So I think the talent level, I'm very high on Miami 2-3 years down the road. But with Tyler Van Dyke, everyone likes what they saw from him last year. If Mario Cristobal can just get a little bit more out of the talent that Manny Diaz had, I think Miami can win 10 games.
Yeah, because I mean, for all the talk that goes into Miami doesn't have any talent. I mean, by 247's rankings, they were the 13th most talented roster in the country last year.
Right.
It's just a matter of performing up to that level.
Yes.
Which I think they will. I mean, I have some questions about Cristobal's in-game coaching ability. I think he still has some growing to do. And then you look, like you pointed out, the losses to Utah last year, that loss to Stanford, and he had, pretty much every year he had some losses like that. I want to see those things clear up before I'm just really sold on him as a head coach. But part of the reason I've kind of changed my mind and being a little more optimistic about it is because of guys like, I know Kevin Steele's reputation. Everybody knows what Charlie Strong's done. I mean, not the greatest head coach, but you can't knock him as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, I say the same thing about Will Muschamp all the time. I mean, and I still think Jeremy Pruitt's an elite defensive mind. Just because a guy flops as a head coach doesn't mean, well, that's it. Kick him out of college football forever. I mean, Will Muschamp's an elite defensive mind. Jeremy Pruitt's an elite defensive mind. Dan Mullen is an elite offensive mind.
He is.
I mean, I could go on and on and on with coaches who haven't succeeded as a head coach, but are still really good assistants or coordinators or analysts or whatever the case. And it's just like everybody Cristobal brought in has a ton of experience, either in Miami area, the Florida area, or the Southeast in general. Has been in the SEC, the ACC, is used to recruiting against Florida, Florida State, Georgia, Alabama, Clemson. I mean, you can't deny that. The only question marks are what you said, the on the field performance, the how much can that staff get out of the players? That's the only question mark. I don't have any questions or doubts about the recruiting down there. I mean, the recruiting is about to be better than it's been in a long, long time at Miami.
Oh, most definitely. That's something that, like you said, I have absolutely no doubt about that. And I completely agree. I mean, much like you said about, Lincoln Riley at USC, somewhere between year 3 and year 5, that's going to be a dangerous team.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing about we have to put a fence around South Florida, you're not putting a fence around South Florida. There's too many players down there. You couldn't get them all, even if they all wanted to go to Miami. But what Miami has to be able to do is pinpoint the 3 or 4 guys down there every year that they really want and make sure they get those 3 or 4 guys every year.
And see, that's what roping off South Florida used to be. And a lot of people equate it with the opposite, like what you said. What it used to be is, they basically got their pick of the litter out of South Florida. They hit, like you said, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys that these are the guys we have to have, and those are the guys that they got. Because I brought this up to you before. They have to expand out of South Florida because you'll find some occasionally you're not getting top offensive linemen out of South Florida.
Right.
You get some really good defensive linemen out of North Florida.
That's kind of the homer in people coming out when you hear like some people say, "Oh, all we got to do is recruit South Florida and we're good to go." No, you can't just recruit South Florida. You're going to win 8 games a year. You have to also be able to identify the kid in Tallahassee or Gainesville or Bumblefuck or Atlanta or somewhere in Louisiana and get one from there. Go get a quarterback from Texas one year. Things like that. I mean, you can't just pigeonhole yourself to South Florida.
Well, and you're absolutely right, because that's something else I've fought with Miami fans. Not all of these great players came from South Florida. They pulled Clinton Portis out of Gainesville High School. They pulled, Ed Reed out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yeah. Another thing that some Miami fans, because this, a lot of Miami fans were so focused on the 90s and 2001 and all that, 5 natties, and that was great. Recruiting is much more national today than it was 20 years ago when Miami was winning natties in 2001. Everybody is recruiting nationwide almost. I mean, Georgia's loaded with high school talent. JT Daniels is from the West Coast. Brock Bowers is from the West Coast. Isaiah Wilson. Was that his name? Isaiah Wilson. Yeah. Started all 3 years he was at UJ at left tackle. He was from New York. I mean, there's a lot of great players in Georgia, but that doesn't mean that every player in Georgia is the best at that position in every single recruiting class. I mean, sometimes you got to go outside. Branson Robinson, we're going to get a running back from Mississippi. Sony Michel from South Florida. James Cook, South Florida. Zeus from North Carolina. So recruiting's a lot more national now than it was, 20 years ago when Miami was dominating and a lot of those South Florida kids.
Well,
and there's still a ton of talent down there, and Miami has to be able to get more of that talent, no doubt about it. But they're not going to get all of it. There's too much there.
I mean, there's too much there for Miami, Florida, and Florida State to get them all.
Right.
And I think it was more nationwide even, 30, 40 years ago. Because, I mean, you could go back to Miami's heyday. Miami fans love to talk about the 80s. Cortez Kennedy came out of Arkansas. Jim Kelly came out of Pennsylvania. I mean, they recruited for whatever reason. They like to focus on the hometown guys, but they tend to overlook the ones that don't fit that narrative.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason they got Jim Kelly is because Joe Paterno and his infinite wisdom told Jim Kelly he wouldn't have been a good quarterback. He wanted him to play middle linebacker.
Yeah.
So good one on you there, Joe Pa.
And a lot of Georgia fans do the same way. Oh my God, Jake Fromm's from Georgia. We got to get him. Stetson Bennett's from Georgia. We got to get him. Aaron Murray was from Florida. Matt Stafford was from Texas. Those are the 2 best quarterbacks Georgia's had in my lifetime.
Yeah. Well, every big name quarterback Miami's had has been from that state of Florida. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
You brought up California. Ken Dorsey was from California. Bernie Kosar was from up around South Bend. South Florida is absolutely great for skill position players, wide receivers, running backs, corners, safeties. But for some reason, especially over the last few years, Georgia's thrown themselves into the mix. But Georgia and California, that's your 2 places to go find quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Ohio, Texas, that's where you're going to get a lot of your offensive and defensive linemen. It just seems to be the way it's worked out. So I absolutely agree. You have to be able to recruit the entire country, and I don't think that's going to be a problem for the staff in the least bit.
No, I don't either. When Mario Cristobal was at Oregon, he went down. Where was Kayvon Thibodeau from? He wasn't from Oregon. I mean, so he knows you got to go out and find players from other places.
Yeah, like I said, I think they're going to be good in a couple of years. I still have my doubts about this year. I'm not as high on NC State as you are. But I do think Pitt's still going to be really good, and I think North Carolina's defense is actually going to be very, very good this year.
Yeah, I do too. I think they might have the 2nd best defense in the ACC behind Clemson.
Probably. It wouldn't surprise me at all. And then, and I pissed off a bunch of Miami fans saying this the other day. I mean, flip a coin to pick who wins the Miami FSU game. I don't care who's up or who's down. It's just the way that rivalry seems to go.
Yeah, look at last year. Y'all were one of the hottest teams in America the last half of the season, and you still, they beat you. I mean, that's what weird things happen in that game.
They do. I mean, one of the years they had Jameis Winston. It may have been his last year. It may have been 2014. They won because they blocked an extra point. That was the difference in the game. And Miami was 6-6 that year. So it's the way that rivalry goes. I mean, I wish it could be more like Georgia and Georgia Tech and, chalk up that W real quick. But no such luck for me.
Oh well.
But as far as the rest of the season goes, maybe they can pull something out at A&M. I mean, just based, and I've said it honestly all off season, they're going to lose 4 games they shouldn't lose all year. Who's to say Miami ain't going to be one of them?
Right.
And then I'm chalking up a loss against Clemson. I'm assuming a loss against Clemson right now. But if they can get their act together and rematch Clemson in the ACC title game, I mean, we saw it with Georgia and Alabama last year.
Yeah.
Hard to beat a team twice.
I'm telling you, if Miami goes on the road in week 2 or whatever it is and beats Texas A&M, the hype train is going to be uncontrollable.
Oh.
That's going to be great. Yeah. The hype train is going to be wild for the Miami fans if y'all go on the road and beat Texas A&M.
Oh, you two will definitely be interesting. And then if that happens, chances are they'll be undefeated going to Death Valley.
Yeah. Man, wouldn't that be something? Wow.
Ooh. This could be a fun year.
Pete would be a little nervous.
I think Pete's nervous anyway. He ain't back from vacation yet, but I watch Bobby Durkin stream, and that they tend to think very similarly. And Bobby Durkins is nervous.
Yeah. We'll see. We will see. All right, Slim. I appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Yes, sir. We'll talk about you later.
Yes, sir. Slim Shady Canes. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Morning, Lou. I'm a college football fan, and I really like your show. And I wanted to ask, do you have any dark horse Heisman candidates?
Yeah, Tyler Van Dyke, quarterback, Miami.
Oh, Van Dyke. Yeah, because I mean, I think we all know that.
Records last year. He didn't start until like week 6 or 7, but he broke a bunch of Jameis Winston records. I mean, he was a top 5 quarterback in college football the last half of last season.
Mm.
Yeah. Now I don't expect him to win it, but that's not the point. You asked dark horse. I mean, everybody. It's easy to say Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, CJ Stroud. That's easy. Dark horse. You have Tyler Van Dyke. And then you start looking at other teams, because the reality is you got to be a pretty good team. You got to be on a pretty good team to win the Heisman. So you start thinking about other teams that have the possibility of maybe being a top 10 type of team, and then you try to find the best player off of those teams. So Bijan Robinson from Texas, the running back from Texas, he might be the best running back in football. I like Travion Henderson a little better, but maybe that's because Travion Henderson is on a better team. I don't know. But if Texas were to somehow go 10-2, 11-1, and win the Big 12, something like that, I think Bijan Robinson is their best offensive player. So, looking for a running back as a dark horse, maybe you would throw him in there.
Yeah. Hmm.
And of course, Stetson Bennett. I mean, he's clearly Stetson Bennett's going to be the only walk-on to throw for 2,800 yards and win the Heisman.
Nice. Well, I'm a South Carolina fan, so life's been pretty downhill ever since.
Well, Spencer Rattler for Heisman then.
Yeah, I've been burned enough times not to hope for anything.
Well, Spencer Rattler is the most talented quarterback South Carolina Now, whether that translates to wins or big numbers on the field, I don't know, because no matter how good you are, you do have to have people around you.
Yeah. We have a couple playmakers. We had Josh Fan. He's pretty decent. Jaheim Bell. He's going to be he could be pretty good. We have some playmakers, but I don't know if we can just
Yeah, you brought the
manage.
tight end in from Oklahoma too. I'm
Yeah,
assuming he's
Stogner.
going to start. Yeah, I like your defensive line too.
Hmm.
I think you have one of the better defensive lines in the SEC. Probably not. Not the best defensive
Oh
line.
yeah,
But really
Georgia
good
exists.
defensive line. So there are some parts and pieces there. The thing about South Carolina this year, I think South Carolina could be a better team than last year, but have a worse or similar record because the schedule is brutal.
Yeah, just the Arkansas on the road is so hard, and then
I mean, you get Texas A&M from the West because you play them every year. Now you get them at home, but still, you never beat them. So,
and then we
you
get
play Clemson. You got to play Georgia. I mean,
definitely.
look, Clemson, Georgia, Texas A&M. Those are 3 potential top 10 games you have to play there.
Yeah, and then also
probably a
Arkansas,
top 15, top 20ish type team, could be higher than that.
Yeah,
and then and then you got to worry about Tennessee, Florida, Kentucky, who I think are all kind of similar to South Carolina. So how many of those games can they win?
And then Missouri, they got that good wide receiver, Burden. That's his name, Luther Burden. He was a top recruit.
Yeah, true freshman. We'll see. I don't like Missouri's quarterback situation. They were trying to get JT Daniels. Didn't work out for him. He went to West Virginia. But I think y'all are I would separate the SEC East like this. I think Georgia is in a tier by itself right now. The next tier, I would say, is South Carolina, Kentucky, and Tennessee.
And then Florida and
Mizzou. And then
after that, Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
I mean, you gotta love Vanderbilt sometimes. I mean, they always give you a good one.
Well,
unless you
not
only
always,
beat them by 1 point.
But every once in a while they give you a good one. So, yep. Favorite South Carolina player of all time?
Oof. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I gotta love Jadeveon Clowney, but Marcus Lattimore, he was obviously a beast. But Deebo Samuel, he was another one that I just loved. But my favorite's probably gotta be Jadeveon Clowney, just because he was such a monster. And I mean,
Deebo Samuel's had a good NFL career.
Oh yeah, really good, really good.
I mean, not a Hall of Fame type of career, but I mean, he's been in the NFL for a long time. He's a starter. He's going to be a starter for a long time. He's on a pretty good team. He's had a good NFL career. He's had a better NFL career than any Georgia wide receiver other than AJ Green.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what about Mecole Hardman?
Well, he might start this year. He's really never even been a starter for Kansas City because he plays the same position as Tyreek Hill. But now that Tyreek Hill is gone, we might see some more Mecole Hardman now. Yeah. But still, I think Deebo and AJ Green are better than Mecole Hardman.
Well, I know Aaron Murray's kind of scared of Jadeveon.
Well, Aaron Murray's not scared of anybody. That's fake news.
No. Wasn't he in the XFL last year?
No, he was in the other league. The whatever it was, the AAF, All American Football or whatever it was called. He played for the Tampa Bay Vipers or whatever, or maybe that was the XFL. Hell, I don't remember. But he he was in one of them leagues. Aaron Murray. Gemini says Aaron Murray is trash. Well,
I disagree.
He holds almost every SEC passing record known to man. So if Aaron Murray is trash, then I feel bad for every other quarterback to ever play in the SEC.
I'm a South Carolina fan. I hate Georgia with every fiber of my being, and I have to admit Aaron Murray is very good.
If Aaron Murray would have enrolled at Georgia in 2017,
oh God,
we'd have at least 2 natties now in the last 4 years instead of 1. That dude was a monster.
Oh yeah. And Ole Miss, how do you think Ole Miss is going to do? I mean, I think they have a decent team.
Yeah, they won 10 games last year. It's going to be hard for them to repeat that just because of the division they play in over there. But and they lost Matt Corral. Now, I think they're still going to be really good offensively because Lane Kiffin's an offensive genius. Yeah.
They lost Corral, Ely, Drummond.
Yeah, they lost a lot. Now, they did really good in the transfer portal.
Oh, yeah.
They can't recruit with the big boys. They'll never be able to. They can't recruit with the big boys, but they did pretty good. They're top 10 in the transfer. 24/7 does a transfer portal ranking now, just like they do a recruiting ranking. They're top 10 in the transfer portal ranking, so they brought some talent in to try to help them right away. But 10-win seasons at Ole Miss are very rare, very rare. I would be surprised if they repeated that. It seems like an 8-4 type of season coming up.
Yeah, which is sad because I think they have a pretty good team. Did they play Bama? Not that they're going to beat Bama, but did they play them in Tuscaloosa or do they have them in Oxford?
I will tell you right now. Hold on 1 second.
Right.
They play Bama. At Ole Miss. It's a home game.
Okay.
Yeah. Bama plays back-to-back. Bama has a bye week, and then they play at LSU and at Ole Miss in back-to-back weeks. Now, Bama's better than LSU and Ole Miss.
Yeah, but can
it's
they
tough to play on the road in the SEC, and those are
especially at LSU.
Yeah, those are two pretty tough places to play. So
how's LSU looking this year? I haven't been paying attention to them.
Well, they have a lot of talent, but they've had a lot of talent. They had a lot of talent in 2020 and 2021 and had losing records. So, I mean, I do think Brian Kelly's a better head coach than Ed Orgeron, but there's a learning curve to coaching in the SEC. So, I don't think they're going to win 10 games, but they'll be better, I think, than they were last year.
Yeah, do they still have that Butte guy?
I'm not sure. I
remember he was very good for LSU last year.
Yeah, I'm a big Booty fan. I have been for a while.
Mm.
And by big booty fan, I mean like the actual size.
Yeah.
So.
Does Kentucky still have that Chris Rodriguez guy, or is he gone?
The running back?
Yeah.
I think he's still there.
What about Smoke, however?
I think he's gone.
Okay. So
any Kentucky fans in here? I'm not sure. That's another reason I don't do predictions in April. I don't when I do my prediction videos starting in June, I look all that stuff up so I know what the hell I'm talking about. But right now I'm not sure. Yeah, they say Smoke is gone.
Smoke is gone, so they got Robinson.
Somebody else says Smoke is still there. So I don't know. I have no idea.
You know, it's crazy how I rather watch the Nebraska spring game than the Clemson spring game.
Well, I watched them both kind of for the same reason. Both of them have quarterback questions.
Yeah, but I mean, at least Nebraska was somewhat entertaining.
The thing I don't like about the Nebraska spring game, I don't like spring games
the point systems
that use circus scoring systems. Yeah, I just don't like that. Tennessee did that a couple of times. Several teams have done. I don't like that. If I flip on a game and the score is 21-10, I want to be able to know what that means. But you flip on the Nebraska game and it's 13-11, and then the next thing you know, someone gets sacked and now it's 14-12, and it's just weird.
Yeah. You know, at least with Nebraska, I couldn't tell if their offense was really good or their defense was horrible.
Well, I doubt their offense. I wouldn't classify their offense as really good.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to be better than last year because they finally got rid of Adrian Martinez. But
that's not going to be hard to do.
Yeah, it's not going to be great.
Are they going to be the best 3-9 team though?
Not this year because they're not. They're going to win more than 3 games. It would be hilarious to see them go 3-9 again. But I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win a minimum of 7 games.
A minimum. One last question: is Texas back?
Back to what?
Back in general.
Back to losing to Kansas? I doubt it. I think they'll lose to. I think they'll beat Kansas this year. Unlike last year when they lost to them, I think they'll actually be back to beating Kansas this year. I actually think Texas could win the Big 12.
Yeah, because Oklahoma, I mean, they're not they're gonna be good, but they're not gonna be like years prior.
No, I agree with you. I think they might finish 4th or 5th in the Big 12.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, yeah, we'll talk to you again. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
What's up, Uncle Lou? It's Nick from Arkansas. How you doing, man?
Hey, Nick. I'm good. How are you, buddy?
Doing all right. I know you don't follow NFL or anything like that, but I want to get your take on how do you feel about Russell Wilson to the Broncos?
I think it's a good move for the Broncos, immediately. For Seattle, probably a good move for down the road. but it makes Denver a better team. I mean, Denver. I think Denver will be a good team this year. Yeah, it's a definite upgrade for Denver.
Yeah, and they have a lot of weapons in wide receiver, and I guess he has more weapons now than he did at Seattle.
Yeah,
and you kind of saw him and Pete Carroll just like that bridge is coming down.
Well, yeah, and the AFC West is brutal. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't blame Russell Wilson. I mean, all 4 teams almost made the playoffs last year from the AFC West. I mean, Seattle, San Francisco, Arizona, and who's the 4th one?
Raiders.
Raiders.
Yeah.
I mean, they were all pretty good teams. Raiders is another team that is going to be better this coming year than they were last year. That's a tough division out there, so I don't blame him for getting out of there. Denver, now he's got to worry with Kansas City. You know, they're always going to be pretty good. Who else is in that division? San Diego, Denver,
Chargers,
Kansas City, and who's the 4th one?
Um,
I'm drawing a blank on the 4th one now.
I am too.
Denver. Help us out, comment section. Denver, San Diego, Kansas City, and who else is in that division? Drawing a blank.
The Raiders.
The NFC
Raiders.
West. The Raiders?
Yeah, the Raiders.
Well, who's the 4th team in the West then? Cardinals, San Francisco, Seattle, and who else? Chargers? No, the Chargers. The Chargers are in the same division as Denver and Kansas City in them, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rams. That's right. Well, Rams is AFC. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Point is, Denver got better, and so did the Raiders.
Yeah, they did.
Seattle got worse, but they're building for the future now.
Yeah. Hey, man, did you think Miami missed the draft by getting Tua and passing on Justin Herbert?
Yeah, I don't think Tua will ever play a complete season in the NFL. I said that before the draft that year. I said I would not draft Tua. The talent is there, but I would not waste a 1st-round pick on a guy that lives in the injury tent. Just me.
So do you think he's a bust?
I don't know if he's a bust, but I mean, when's he going to make it through a season? It's yet to happen. It never happened in college, and it hasn't happened in the NFL.
Yeah, that is true. And everybody thinks now because he got Tyreek Hill, they're gonna do something good in the AFC South.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tua's a good quarterback, but you know, you're not any good sitting on the bench. It's just the same with JT Daniels. You know, you gotta stay healthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Justin Herbert's really good.
He's really good. Okay, some people have the Chargers coming out of the AFC. I got Buffalo coming out of the AFC. I'm sorry. I just think Josh Allen and that team is
they're loaded.
Great. And I didn't
New England is in the toilet. The Dolphins are the Dolphins, and then you got the Jets. So I mean, the Bills are the Bills are a lot to make the playoffs.
And then you have Giants fans who still want to believe Daniel Jones. Something like that.
They ain't had a good team in years.
They haven't either.
Poor Bad Dog. It's my buddy Bad Dog. He's a huge Giants fan, and he knows they're terrible.
Hey, at least not the Jets, Lou. I mean,
yeah, that's right. It could always be worse. You could be a Jets fan. Oh man!
Did you hear about Baker Mayfield on a freaking podcast talking about he feels disrespected because they chose Deshaun Watson over him?
Well, any idiot knows Deshaun Watson's a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
So, you know, I've never liked Baker Mayfield. Going back to his college, I've never liked him.
I haven't either. He can be an asshole.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
And I'm like, dude, you're not the only quarterback to come from a freaking to walk on schools and to like have this freaking not comeback story, like a freaking what is he?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good story, but he ruined it with his personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, he walked on at 2 different colleges. I mean, it was a good story, and then won the Heisman. I mean, it was a good story, but he ruined it with his personality.
Yeah, that whole underdog mentality that nobody believed in me. Like, dude, don't just stop.
Right. Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know where I'm going to go. Like, Seattle doesn't want
Baker Mayfield is Johnny Manziel without the cocaine. That's what he is. He's Johnny Manziel without the coke habit. That's all he is. That's it. Johnny Manziel put out some huge press release the other day announcing his retirement from football. I'm looking around going, bruh, I thought you retired like 4 years ago, man. What the fuck? Get the hell out of here.
I'm like, what football?
Yeah, wasting away in the Canadian League. All right, Nick, thanks for coming on, buddy.
All right, bro.
All right, talk to you next time. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Luke.
I'm just curious what your take is on the Gators this year.
I don't think they're going to be very good. I'm going to answer your question off the. I'm going to have to remove you from the thing. Something was wrong with whatever flip flop it was you were calling in from. I don't think Florida's going to be very good this year. I don't think that necessarily means Billy Napier is a terrible coach. I just don't think Florida's in very good shape roster wise right now. So, 8-4. I mean, I think you're going to lose to Tennessee and Knoxville. I think you're going to lose to Georgia. I think you're going to lose to Texas A&M. And then you got LSU, Kentucky, South Carolina. Probably going to lose at least one of those. That would be 4 losses. Again, that doesn't mean that Billy Napier is going to be a permanent failure at Florida. I just don't think there's a lot to work with there right now. Let's see. Any update on the Florida game? Florida game is over, I guess. Yeah, I think Tennessee is going to beat Florida in Knoxville week 2. Look, Florida opens up with Utah at home and then has to play Tennessee on the road the following week. That's a tough start to the season for a Florida team that was not very good last year. They got to play the Pac-12 champions, Utah, and then they got to go on the road and play a Tennessee team that thinks they're going to be really good. And in order to prove that, they have to beat Florida week 2. I think that's a tough game for Florida. Tough start to this. Florida could very easily be 0-2 to start the season. Florida could very easily be 0-2 to start the season. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They play Kentucky week 4. Well, they play Kentucky week. They could still be 0-2. Tennessee could be 1-2 when they play at Tennessee. They could lose to Utah and Kentucky. They'll beat South Florida. Well, hopefully. They lost to Central Florida in the bowl game. Wouldn't that be something if they lost to Central Florida last year's bowl game and turn around and lose to South Florida this year? What if they start out 0-3? South Florida's terrible, though. But they could be 1-2 heading into that game at Tennessee. I don't see any way they beat Utah and Kentucky. I don't think they're good enough to win both of those games in back-to-back weeks. I think at best they're going to be 1-1. Then they play Georgia and Texas A&M in back-to-back weeks. That's 2 losses right there. And they're going to lose at least one of their last 3 games between Florida State, Vandy, and South Carolina, probably, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be a great year for Florida record-wise. Mayhem, thank you for the super chat. He says, always try to support the channel when I can. I love your content. As always, give me a Go Dogs. Woo, I can give you a Go Dogs, Mayhem Matthew. Any Gumps in the stream? Alabama offered a scholarship today to a kid from Uncle Lou's hometown. A sophomore offensive tackle, Evans High School, right down the road from me. He's a sophomore right now. He's 6'6", 280 as a sophomore. And Bama just offered him a scholarship. That makes him what, class of 2024? No, class of 2023 are seniors right now. He's class of 25, signing class of 25. Mason Short is his name. Mason Short, 6'6", 280 sophomore. Yeah, and as a sophomore, B-Bean, the guy could still grow. The guy could still grow. Mason Short is tall. You have an amazing grasp of the obvious there, VicTube. Yeah, he plays tackle. Offensive tackle. My dream game? I don't have just a blanket dream game. I mean, that would vary from year to year, I guess. That would vary from year to year. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Lou. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, I was wondering. So I've seen a lot of people. They talk about how Texas A&M has like such a high ceiling this year. Like what they could possibly go 8-4, like how they usually do, but they could also like have a potential ceiling of going to the playoff. Do you buy into that?
I don't think I buy into them as being a playoff team this year. But I mean, they've got the talent really to beat everybody they play except Alabama. But they've had the talent to do that a lot of times and still somehow go 8-4. I mean, last year they lost to Arkansas. They lost to Arkansas and Mississippi State last year in back-to-back weeks. And then the following week, they beat Alabama. That's what they have to stop doing. They've got to play. They don't consistently play up to their potential, and that's what they have to do.
They do have they've had a lot of kind of head scratching losses.
And that happens to a lot of teams once a year. I mean, Georgia. I mean, Alabama losing to Texas A&M last year was head scratching. Georgia losing to South Carolina in 2019 was head scratching. I mean, lots of teams have head scratching losses, but not lots of teams have 4 of them in a year. And they seem to have
be able to put it together on offense.
It's going to depend on the quarterback situation. I mean, that quarterback's only played 2 games before he got hurt last year.
Yeah.
So
you think they would have been better?
And they weren't very good. Let's not forget, Texas A&M couldn't score any points. They beat, who was it they beat? They beat some, who was it they beat? Like 10-3 in week 2 last year.
Yeah, and they also,
terrible team.
They beat Auburn by only scoring like defensive. Basically, they scored like 20 points, I think, but they got like a couple defensive touchdowns, I think. Like they did nothing on offense at all.
Yeah, they beat Colorado 10-7.
Yeah.
I mean, the Auburn game that you're talking about. Where's that? They won 20-3.
Yeah, and they did nothing on offense that game.
Yeah. I don't know. They lost to Ole Miss. They lost to the worst LSU team in 20 years last year.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Do you think like for this season they would have been like? You think they would have just been better off with Calzada, or?
Well, they obviously believe in the other guy. I mean, they picked him over Calzada to start the season last year. And I'm assuming somebody went to Calzada as soon as this season ended and said, thank you for your service, but we're going back to the other guy as soon as he's healthy. Because Calzada didn't waste no time getting the hell out of there once the season was over, even though he started every game from week 3 to the end of the season and beat Alabama.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, of course, their defense. I mean, is going to be. I mean, this obviously is going to be great, but they can't put anything together on offense again. Then,
yeah, they had the second best defense in the SEC last year behind Georgia, and in 2020 they had the best defense in the SEC. So the defense has not been the issue.
Oh yeah, I forget about how good they were that COVID year.
The COVID year, they were like 9-1.
Yeah, they were. When I think about it, yeah, their only loss was Alabama, and they pretty much crushed everybody else.
Yeah, that's the best year they've had since being in the SEC, was that COVID year.
Yeah. How long has Jimbo been at A&M? It was 2019 his first year.
Jimbo? Yeah, I think this is his 4th year.
Yeah.
Octavian says UGA just isn't any good, period. They're going to go 10-2. Yeah, because lots of teams that aren't any good, go 10-2. They're not any good at all, period. They're going 10-2.
Yeah, they suck. 10-2. What the hell? Yeah.
Man. Oh my God. They're horrible. They're gonna go 10-2.
Dude, some teams would pray for 10-2. Oh my God.
Tennessee ain't won 10 games in 15 years.
Yeah. I mean, Ole Miss just won 10 games for the first time in almost a decade.
Yeah. Georgia sucks. They're horrible, period. They're going 10-2.
Some people, I can't tell if they're trolling or like if they just got some really cold ass takes.
They're trolling themselves and they don't even know it.
Yeah, no. That FPI, the whatever the hell it's called.
What a joke. Yeah, it's a joke.
Dude. Oh man. When I saw Auburn in the top 10, oh my God, dude.
Yeah. That was a joke. Texas in the top 10 too.
Oh yeah, they're number 6. What do they what goes into that
I don't understand.
Gets that kind of outcome.
Yeah, I don't understand how they can get the first 3 so right, but then get other things so wrong.
Yeah, like Texas, Auburn, North Carolina.
I mean, everybody agrees.
LSU. There was a bunch of teams that were way too high.
Yeah, it was weird. Everybody agrees that Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia are the top 3 teams in whatever order you want to put them in. Everybody agrees on that. And they somehow got that right. But then they have Auburn at 10, Texas at like 6 or 7 or whatever. It was just I think Tennessee was unranked. Southern Cal was unranked. It was just weird.
Yeah, Arkansas. Where was Arkansas?
I don't even remember.
It was like they weren't even in the top 25, which I think is, I don't know. That's I'm not really. I don't think I'm going to be paying attention to that ranking too much.
No, the FBI shouldn't be doing preseason polls. Now, if you want to look at the FBI for like, what percentage a team has to win a certain game during the season or something, maybe that makes a little bit more sense. But the FBI preseason ranking is a complete joke. Hey, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. It was good to hear from you. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Good morning, Louis. Nate the Greek.
Hey, what's up, Nate?
Not much, man. Yeah. Speaking of FBI rankings, it's a effing joke.
Yeah, it is.
And yet they have Nebraska at 35. For FBI rankings, I was like,
seems too high, don't it?
Yeah. Yep, too high for Nebraska. But
where they had Michigan?
7, I think.
Maybe.
I think Michigan's weakest points in preseason is like probably the rankings before they play, because every time they, early in the season they play games and they somehow lose the games that they're not supposed to lose, but and yet they were ranked in the preseason poll like 7th, but it's not official. But it's like, for example, so yeah, I don't like the FBA rankings. It's a joke, but my topic was, will Tennessee slightly well, I don't want to say slightly, but will they be 8-4 this year?
Yeah, they could definitely go 8-4. If they beat Florida and Pitt, they're definitely going at least 8-4.
Okay, so they're basically heading right direction each year. I won't say each year, but maybe each year. I don't know, because I think Heupel might be the guy. I don't know. I'm not trying to jinx anything, but I don't know. You think so?
Well, might be the guy to do what? Start averaging 9 wins a year? Yeah.
No, like to improve Tennessee, not as like a 11-win team, like like.
Oh no, Butch Jones won 9 games 2 years in a row, and then the third year he went 4-8. So
True.
We'll see. But I do think Tennessee could win 8 or 9 games this year, especially if they beat Pitt and Florida early in the season. Hey, thanks, Nate. Thanks for coming on, buddy. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, how's it going, Lou?
Hey, what's up, bud?
Hey, this is Jacob Watson, man.
Yes, sir.
My first question was about, what do you think West Virginia is going to do with JT Daniels?
Throw the ball 35 times a game.
Yeah, but
Graham Harrell runs air raid offense.
Yeah, but like, I mean, like, what range of wins do you think they're going to have?
I haven't even looked at their schedule, so I however many wins I thought they were going to have yesterday, I think they're going to have more than that today. But I don't know what that number is because I haven't looked at all at West Virginia yet.
Okay. Second question. What do you think was the worst ranking on the FPI?
Auburn at 10.
Yeah, Texas at 6.
They'll be lucky to make a bowl game. Auburn's gonna be lucky to make a bowl game.
Yeah, well, Texas at 6 was that's bad too.
Yeah, but I think if everything goes right for Texas, I think they could be a top 10 team. There's nothing that can happen for Auburn to be a top 10 team this year. They're going to be horrible. They don't have any talent. Their coaches aren't very good. The administration and the alumni hate the coaches. The fans are going to be booing Harsin off the field every time they're losing at halftime. It's not going to be a good year for Auburn.
I mean, yeah, and another thing that confused me was Oklahoma State at 13. I think they're better than that.
It could be, but Oklahoma State is like they go 8-4. They're like the Texas A&M of the Big 12. They go 8-4 every year. Last year could have been an anomaly. I don't know. I think they're going to be good again too. But Oklahoma State's been good enough a lot of years to go 10-2, and they still end up 8-4.
Yeah, that's true. Now third question: you think anybody, and this is directed towards people in the comment section as well, you think anybody who watches college football would know that Bama's defense is better with Kirby than it is without?
Oh, everybody knows that. Alabama hasn't had as good of a defense as they had under Kirby since he left. I mean, that's just
not according to the people in the comment section.
Oh, well, they just don't know what they're talking about or understand football. I mean, every Alabama fan on planet Earth has been crying about that defensive coordinator for 2 years now, about how terrible he is. So ain't nobody trying to hear that. They're just, I don't know what I don't know if they're trolling or I don't know what they're doing. But no, Alabama's the best defenses Nick Saban had was with Kirby Smart as defensive coordinator. I mean, that's just a fact.
I mean, they allowed 7.9 yards per carry to our running backs in the Natty game. Like, who does that?
Yeah, no,
that's just.
Yeah. I mean, their defense wasn't terrible, but it wasn't as good as it was under Kirby Smart. I mean, that's just reality.
Yeah, never will be. I mean, they've gotten softer, less physical, and they're not going to be as good as they used to be.
Alabama's defense got so bad, they had to go get somebody from Tennessee and start them at inside linebacker. That's how bad Alabama's defense has got.
Yeah, well,
they had to go get Henry Toto from Tennessee and stick him at inside linebacker. That's how far Alabama's defense has fallen.
Yeah, and their daughter, the outside linebacker, he got 0 sacks versus UGA shutout.
Right. I forgot he was even playing.
Yeah, Will Anderson didn't even know.
Yeah, I thought he was hurt or something. Same thing with Aiden Hutchinson in the Michigan game. I was like, what happened to this guy?
Yeah. Yeah, just more injury excuses for Alabama.
Yeah.
They forget we had Tate Ratledge, Tyke Smith, George Pickens was playing through injury. Who else? Was Brock Bowers playing through injury as well? They forget that part, but they remember the Alabama players.
Well, of course. They have selective memory. All right, Jacob, thanks for coming on, buddy. Good to hear from you today. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. You have to unmute your mic.
Hello, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. I just wanted to ask you, how do you think Michigan State will do in these next couple years with Mel Tucker?
Not as good as they did last year, but I do think they'll be good. But I don't think they'll be as good as they were last year.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to shit on Michigan State. I like Mel Tucker. I think Mel Tucker's a great defensive mind too, but they sort of caught lightning in a bottle last year with Kenneth Walker. I mean, no one knew who that kid was when he was at Wake Forest. He transfers out of Wake Forest, shows up at Michigan State, and he's running for 200 yards a game. I mean, he single-handedly won that Michigan game. So, and he's gone. And I just don't think they have anything to replace that. I still think, I mean, they'll be an okay team. You know, maybe they win 8 games. I don't know. I haven't really looked at them, so I don't know. But is anybody surprised? Would anybody be surprised to know that this is Octavian? No one would be surprised to know that. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? I just want to let y'all know, man. Tennessee has the best chance of upsetting Georgia this year. It might not be my Gators, but Tennessee has the best chance of beating them because their offense. I'm just high on their offense.
Tennessee is going to beat Georgia in Athens.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We have a chance to beat them in Jacksonville. You know, it depends on how we play against Tennessee at Neyland. That's our key game. If we beat Tennessee at Neyland, we're good for the rest of the season. If we lose that game, it's just gonna go downhill.
It's pretty sad that as a Florida fan, you're basing your season off of whether or not you can beat Tennessee. But no, which you're not beating Tennessee. You have to play Tennessee in Knoxville. You're losing. You're probably going to lose to Utah too. Florida's just a complete dumpster fire.
Oh, no, Utah.
How embarrassing is that going to be to lose to a West Coast team? I can't relate. We're fixing to take Oregon to the woodshed. Y'all embarrassed the SEC by losing to a bunch of Mormons who aren't Mormon enough to get into BYU.
Oh man, Utah. We're gonna screw up the floor with Utah.
Right.
Then we're gonna screw up the floor with Kentucky. South Florida is not even in our thoughts. Tennessee and Georgia is the main 2 teams that we have to beat this year on the schedule. I don't care if we beat Tennessee or Georgia, we're going to the SEC championship game.
Well, if you're hanging your success this season on beating Tennessee or Georgia, you're in for a rough season because you're not beating either one of them. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. You got to unmute your mic. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Good morning. You remember me from Tuesday?
No.
Oh, I called in. I was a kid. You asked who your mom, or can you talk to my mom? Remember that?
Oh yeah, I do remember that now. Put her on the phone.
All right. Oh, I'm at my friend's house.
Oh, put his mom on.
Becky, you let's talk to your mom.
What's going on?
Nothing. Do you think Texas will be back ever?
Ever? Yeah. Yeah.
I
mean, it's going to be a lot harder once they get into the SEC, but I mean, you know, Texas is a blue blood program. Eventually, they're going to win another national title. When that'll be, I don't know. No, it's hard to predict when that would be now. I mean, it's not going to be this year.
I think Arch Manning is going to Texas.
Yeah. Well, either Texas or Bama would be my pick for Arch Manning.
I think. Well, you think Georgia's out of it?
I don't think Georgia's out of it, but I don't think he's going to go there. I don't think he's going to pick Georgia because Georgia's going to come out, play Stetson Bennett this year. He's going to throw for 170 a game again. And Arch Manning's going to go, why do I want to do that? I don't want to do that. I want to throw for 300 a game. Let me go to Texas.
Yeah, I don't understand how Georgia keeps getting these high recruits when Justin Fields, Eason, JT Daniels.
Well, I don't understand how they get the quarterbacks. I understand how they get everybody else, but I agree with you on the quarterback. I don't understand how we keep getting them either. I have no clue.
Eventually, it's going to stop.
I think so. It's already stopped at the wide receiver position, so next is going to be quarterback. So, yeah, I agree with you there.
Who's the number 2, Carson Beck or Vandergriff?
Carson Beck is the number 2 right now, according to what the coaches are saying. We'll see how they look in the spring game on Saturday because I think one of them is transferring. Whoever the number 3 is transferring, I think.
And the backyard brawl, is that what they call it? Will be 2 former Southern Cal QBs, JT Daniels and I think that's an underrated rivalry.
Yeah, and they just signed an agreement for 4 more games too, so we're going to get to see that game almost every year for the next 5 or 6 years.
Have you talked to who is it? The
Golden
West
Blue
Virginia
Man.
fan?
Yeah, Golden Blue Man.
What does he think of it?
Oh, he loves that game. He's going to the game. I think this year it's at Pitt or something, but I think next year he's going to the game. Or maybe he's going this year. He's going to that game. It's either this year or next year. I can't remember which, but yeah, he's excited.
Pitt's got a good schedule. Look at Tennessee and who is it? Tennessee and West Virginia.
Both at home, yeah.
I think Tennessee needs to win that game to go 8-4.
I think so too. They need to beat Pitt in Florida.
Does that mean if Tennessee beats Pitt, will the Voltard come back?
No, they got to beat Florida, Georgia, or Alabama for the Voltard to come back.
Okay, good talking to you.
All right,
See
you too.
next time.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Yeah, hi. I was just on, but I guess I could ask you another question if that's okay with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you as like a Georgia fan, how do you think they'll do this year and a couple years? You know, after losing half of their defense, like Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the defense at all. None. I don't have any issues, questions, concerns. Nothing with the defense. None. All right. Guess that was all he wanted to know. The inside linebackers might be a little bit of an issue this year because we're going to be very inexperienced because we lost our top 3 inside linebackers from last year. And really the only 3 inside linebackers that played any meaningful snaps, Channing Tindall, Quay Walker, and Nakobe Dean. There's a ton of talent on the roster, 4- and 5-star players. I mean, look, your average college football fan didn't know who the hell Nakobe Dean, Channing Tindall, and Quay Walker were until last year. So there's a lot of talent there. It's just they haven't played very much. So I have a little bit of question marks about the inside linebacker position. Don't have any question. We returned both our outside linebackers, Robert Beal and Nolan Smith. I think Jalen Carter is better than Jordan Davis. We are going to miss Trayvon Walker. We don't have anybody that can replace him. We're going to miss him along the defensive front. And, I think we're in better position in the secondary heading into this season than we were last season. I like Keely Ringo, Christopher Smith, Tyke Smith. We got some horses back there too. So, but hey, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight, Uncle Lou After Dark. I do this every Tuesday and Thursday night. So if you enjoyed the show tonight, come check us out again next Tuesday. I will be live streaming on Saturday for some spring games. We're going to start at noon for the Ohio State game. Georgia game comes on at 1. I'll continue to stream into the Georgia game, and we'll just go from there. There's a bunch of spring games on this Saturday. So if you want to hang out and watch some football this weekend, I'll be live streaming starting at noon on Saturday. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and have a good morning.